Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I have this wooden piece I picked up at one of the local dollar stores, and I think what I might do is I'm going to stain the outside and then paint this here, I think in a white. I hadn't decided about the colors, but what I want to do is then put it on the Cricut transfer tape, and then pour resin. I'm going to coat the inside with with the Duraclear, the Deco Duraclear, to kind of seal it in a bit, so that hopefully it doesn't get too bubbly. And then I'd like to pour resin. I'm thinking in different colors or maybe glitter. Again, I haven't decided yet. And then hopefully it doesn't come through to the front, and then this would be a nice Suncatcher type thing to hang in the window or any place. Now I already went ahead and there was a string that was in it. I took it off, and I can't find my antique wax. I do have a big jar of it someplace. Oh, as I'm saying that, I just spotted it on my desk. So what I'm going to use, I was going to use stain, but I actually prefer the antique wax. So I just have a piece of parchment down, make for easy cleanup. I'm using this antique wax. It's water-based, it's easier to clean up, but that's going to be my stain. And then I'll do the white paint after. I just have a paper towel, and I'm going to dip the paper towel in and then wipe it on the wood. All right, I put a glove on just to keep my fingers from getting stained. And then I'm just going to go around this and rub this on. As you can see, the finish on the side here is, kind of rough. When you add it to the front where it has some grain, it is quite nice looking. So I'm going to try to avoid getting it on the top here, but if it happens, it happens. Like that. It's okay, I'll just paint over top of it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stain this piece. I went ahead and I decided to go ahead and coat the inside with the wax as well, because I think that's because it is a wax, should be a good base for the resin, and hopefully prevent some of the bubbles that you would normally get by putting resin into a porous material like this wood or craft board or whatever you would call this. So that's done. I'm going to let this go ahead and dry, and then I'll do the other side. Back. All right, so I let this dry actually for a couple of days. So here's the back and here's the front. I was trying to think about what color to do the front in. I'm going to go with this. It's not white. It's called sheepskin, which is kind of a little bit of off-white in the chalk paint. So I'm going to paint the front. Again, we'll let it dry. And then our final step will be to do the resin. So I'm hoping by going with the lighter color up on the front that it will help the resin that goes on the back to show better. I didn't want to go with another color. I didn't want something that would compete with the resin. My chalk paint is getting a little old. They're not that old. I thought they would last longer than that for what you pay for the darn things. I don't use them that much. I used to do lots of different types of crafts, and then I started resin and this channel, and now I don't do much other than resin anymore, although I have plenty of supplies. And I'm not sure whether if I were to do things other than resin, if that would be of interest to people or not. I think a lot of times people come just for the resin. I'm trying to avoid getting the stain part on the outside. I might move to a small, let's see. I was thinking I might move to a smaller brush, but because it's a raised edge, I might be fine. And I'm going to actually go over it with some of the Duraclear to give a seal, because I don't want the paint to peel off when I put it on the sticky surface that I need to put it on to pour the resin. So, all right, so we're going to leave it at that, and I'm not going to do the Duraclear on camera. All I'm going to use is this here, the gloss varnish. So once the white dry, or the sheepskin dries, I'm going to go over it with a coat of this and let it dry, but I'll be back for when I do the resin. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to use UV resin. I decided that it would be easier, and that way I can get the different colors. So I'm just putting UV resin in the different pots, and then I'm going to use the Let's Resin dye, which is a transparent dye, and except for this red, which actually wasn't transparent, and I don't think I ended up using it, but and I'm just going to mix these in, and then I'm going to color the flowers, and I'm going to do the background in a blue, so all the area around the flowers I'm going to do in a blue. So I'm just mixing up the colors, and then I'm going to add them in. Now I am using the blue tape that you get just in a roll for doing jewelry and such. I tried using the tape from the Cricut transfer tape, but it would not stick to the wood, and so it wasn't working. And even with this tape, it does seep through. It just doesn't stick to the wood as well as it would stick to a resin piece. But in the end, I like how it turned out, so that's fine. So I'm just going to fill these in, and I'm going to try to get the bubbles out, although I did find I was getting bubbles, and it seemed to happen while it was curing. I think because my lamp is pretty strong, that was causing it, because there wouldn't be a bubble in it, and then I'd put under the lamp, and then one would turn out. So I'm not sure what was happening there, but it, again, it came out fine. So I'm just going to add the colors in. I'm going to cure as I go, and then we'll take a look at the final piece. And I just did small batches of the UV resin, and I just mixed more as I needed it. I didn't want to do big batches and then have a lot left over. So just there, you see me using lighter, trying to get the bubbles out. Then I'll stick it under my lamp, and so I do the one half, and then I go ahead and do the other half with the colored UV resins. I'm actually glad I didn't do it with the epoxy, because I think it would have been a mess. Okay, so I finished with the UV resin and I cured it. You can see it's not the neatest on this side, and I've had some bleed through on the other side. So the next step is I'm going to peel the tape off, and I did switch over to the tape because it's about the only thing that was sticking to this wood, and even then it, you know, it had some bleed through. So I'll just peel that off, and I have to be honest with you, I don't mind the colors on the front. I could paint over it with the white, and maybe I'll do the edging, but I don't mind the color in this. Not sure if I think it looks messy or... So I was going to paint this to cover the spots that the color, the UV resin came out, but I actually really like this. I think it's a happy accident for me anyways. It's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but I just like the way the colors are coming out on this side, and I'm gonna leave it like this. So there we go, that's the finished product. The butterfly was from one of the local dollar stores, paid a couple bucks for it. Stained it up, here it is from this side, using the UV resins. I'm glad I didn't use epoxy because I think I would have had it going all over the place. But there we go. I'll show you what it looks like hanging up. So here it is, just hanging on the wall. Very cute. And I'll show you what it looks like hanging in a window. And here it is in the window. It's a rainy day out, but I still think it looks pretty nice. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.